A big thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video and providing some very cool new parts for this build. These are tool steel standoffs which will hold the bearings for the weapons and do a lot better job than the bolt I used in the last iteration, which should actually help fix some of the issues that we were experiencing with the weapon. Hello everybody, I am Ben from Team Panic. So let's talk about the new design, because this is the old design. It was very, very compact. It was hard to fit everything in, and the wheels stuck out way too far. They just got in the way, and I think I was actually hitting my opponents with the wheels rather than with the weapon out the front, which was a bad thing, effectively. So for this new version, I saw something in CAD and I went, how have I not done this before? And that is, we're going to take the wheels from here and we're going to put them here. So rather than having the wheels 90 degrees offset to the weapons, we're going to have the wheels literally sitting the same way as the weapon. This is basically going to force me to move the wheels out a little bit and then also fit the weapon out further behind that. So if this is our center chassis, then yeah, the weapon's going to have to sit all the way out here somewhere and the wheel is going to sit in here-ish. That's kind of the idea, and I was thinking that this is going to help solve some of the issue that I've seen in the past. One of the big things is as everything spins up, the weapons are very heavy, and so when the robot tilts because the weapons are heavy, it touches the ground on those sides and causes drag, which affects the melting speed. So hopefully, this is going to be better. However, I don't have time to do a new steel chassis, so we're just going to have to cut some stuff out of HDPE. Okay, so by some stuff, I meant a lot of stuff. This is the current pile of parts for the robot, and as you can see, we have a nice little slot in here that the wheel can sit in so that we can actually have the wheel incorporated into the design, and that is what this bit here will hold the motor, and then there is another bit that sits in here, like that, yeah, like that. That shields all of the electronics that are going to sit in here from the wheel itself, because of course that's going to be spinning very, very quickly and we don't want that touching in any way, shape or form. Now, this has been pretty easy to do with my new little CNC machine. These parts actually fit together quite well, or mostly well. Of course, when I say that on camera, all of a sudden they don't. Oh, this one needs cleaning up, I think. Anyway, these parts have been working quite well, and as you can see, this one slot in quite well. So fairly obviously there are some challenges with this design. The first being that this wheel has to be contained inside the robot, which means that, yeah, this wall has to be positioned very precisely to give an actual gap between the wheel and the wall so that, yeah, the wheel doesn't rub, because if it rubs then we're in all sorts of trouble. The other one here is that before everything else gets bolted in, the wheel needs to be bolted in. The wheel and the motor need to be bolted in before I can attach the rest of this, because yeah, some of the bolts and stuff need to go in once the plates are on, and to get the plate on I need to put this wheel on first, because there is another plate that covers this, and already it's actually kind of tight with the bolt sitting next to this standoff here, which is there to hold the front plate out and keep everything square and rigid out there, because that's where the weapon is going to mount. So obviously A bit of a challenging design. I don't really know if this is going to be the way forwards. This is, I guess, really almost a prototype of this idea. We may have to come back to this later and yeah, redo this, add some extra clearance, change up how the motor mounts and stuff so that we can get the motor in and out without having to take the entire robot apart. Because yeah, once I've got the rest of these parts on, if this wheel gets hit and damaged, I am going to be in all sorts of trouble because it will mean taking the entire robot apart to get back to there. And unfortunately at this point I hit a couple of fairly major snags, and the first one was this. This is a 10mm thick side rail or sidewall for the chassis design, and I cut this on my little CNC machine like I had cut everything else. However, these ones didn't come out right. All of the holes that are supposed to be squared up are at weird jaunty angles, which means that the jigsaw puzzle pieces aren't going to lock together, and this piece just does not fit in the chassis where it needs to go. That's an issue because I basically think that the end mill that I have to cut 10mm thick HDPE isn't sharp anymore. I've been using it for a decently long time, especially on the very powerful CNC machine at Sane, and I think I've accidentally blunted it. And that is a problem because this particular design requires multiple pieces of 10mm thick HDPE, and I was running out of time at this point to get something going for ARC's June meet. So instead, I very quickly took the electronics out, stacked them into the old horizontal chassis with the fixed weapons so that I had something to fight for next week. And I went and I fought that at ARC's June meet, and you will see a fight report for that sometime in the near future. But for now, we need to get back into actually building this thing. So to kind of finish this off as a prototype and have something for you all to see in this video, I have recut these pieces, but this time in 6mm, using the bits that I know work and are sharp and actually cut nice square holes. So we should actually now be able to sit down and at least finish off the chassis. There was also some other pieces that needed 10mm plastic, but I have reduced those down to 6mm as well. So this is being a little tricky. I don't think I've cleared these holes out quite large enough and just kind of like deburred them properly. So rather than do that, I'm just going to bring in the big guns here and just give this a couple of taps. Okay, so that's not all the way down. There's still a gap in under here, you can see, but that's because this side wall is supposed to be a lot bigger than this, but this should give me an indication as to how strong. Oh, actually, yeah, that's pretty good. That has strengthened this up quite significantly. I will probably, off camera after this video, actually push this in properly so it's down where it needs to be so I can test the electronics. We're probably not going to get to electronics today, but that is actually looking pretty good. Oh, there's a bullet connector in a hole. That's not a good idea. Okay, that's better. Nice. The other problem I'm facing here is that these spacings between these walls are very precise, And the wheel, unfortunately, is not very precise because these have been through a couple of fights, so they are a little battle damaged, which means that on one side they are totally fine and the wheel would spin up no problem. On the other side, because the wheel is damaged, it's running into the wall. So I probably need to make new wheels. I might even push them further back into the motor because I've got more space behind them than in front of them at this point, which is going to just make that whole thing a little bit easier. Anyway, this is basically this chassis. It does need the other wall, but we're not going to put the other wall on right now, especially as I don't actually have one cut ready to go. So instead, we're going to move on to these cool new weapon posts and actually have a look at these and mounting these up as well. This is the other problem I did have, is that I had messed up the tolerance on these, so I've had to do a small amount of modification to these just to kind of bring them back to the actual size I needed them and not the size I had them catted at, to get the weapons working, which, yeah, these shafts actually hold these bearings really, really nicely, and now they need to hold them on the robot. Interesting. So I've just put on the first weapon mount, which actually working out rather nicely there. Everything spins up pretty well and there's way less wobble in it. I mean, there's a little wobble, but that's chassis more than in the bearings and everything, especially compared to the 8mm bolt we were running earlier. So that is really, really cool. But flicking this around and looking at the other side, I've realized that because we've put this wall in, I can't get two of the nuts in here. So in this version, on this side, two of these are held in with a heat insert nut, which actually you can see here. These two have got heat inserts in them. The other two don't. I could probably actually modify this and put heat inserts in both, but I wanted to put nuts on two of them because this way I can use nylock nuts there. The other ones I'm going to have to like put some thread lock on them in some way or something, but basically there's just not enough room in there to get two additional nuts in. So I wanted the nylocks out the front to kind of make sure everything held down and didn't shake loose, and then I had the other two that were kind of more a support, I guess, because theoretically you should only need two to keep everything straight and square. But yes, in this case, we've put the sidewall on and I can't get pliers in to hold those nuts, and it's a long, deep channel, or long, thin channel, which means it's going to be impossible, even with long, thin needle nose pliers. Actually, it might just be possible, I think, to get pliers down there and hold a nut in place. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Yes, it is definitely a process thing that I need to work out though at some point. Anyway, let's get the last one of these on. And there we go. So now we have both weapon posts on, and we've hit a point where the wheel gets jammed up. Yeah, we definitely need to make some new wheels because they should fit, but again, they have battle damage on them. So we're going to load in some weapons now. And the weapons, actually, because of the way these posts work, the new weapon shafts, they literally just need a single bolt. These have a slightly larger kind of mushroom head on them, which I'm not sure if you can see in here, but it fits directly over the core of the bearing and really holds that in place super nicely. Yeah, actually, here we go. That's the bearing, that's the head of the screw, and it basically covers the inner core perfectly and touches just what I want it to touch. So that is beautiful. All right, let's throw the other side on, because there are a couple of big questions we need to answer with this now, I guess. Prototype chassis, because obviously it didn't get fought at ARC's June meet, which means the next time it's got an option to fight is at Havoc. So we need to make sure it's running well before then, because this is a big event of the year. We don't want to not work at that event. I think I've got a slightly dodgy bearing in this side. Let's just back the screw out a tiny bit and see if that helps it. Oh, okay, yeah, I was just too tight on the screws. That's fine. Now, this is the big thing. Aha, yes. So when we're rocking back, the weapons do hit the ground. We need to be upright a little bit more. That's fine. We'll put some skids in and all of that will work. And when it's rocking back the other way, oh, again, I have tightened down my weapon bolts too tight. This is where Loctite is going to come in handy to keep them at the right tension. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's going to be so much better. This spins so much nicer than on that M8 bolt we were running before. The only thing I am a little bit worried about is, of course, hitting somebody and then this entire corner of the robot being torn apart. But this whole outside wall here is supposed to be 10 mil. These two outside walls are supposed to be 10 mil. There'll be a plate going on top. There should be plenty of plastic in here to stop that from actually happening. But the other big kind of advantage, and the reason I wanted to get to a chassis like this, is because now, sure, we rock back and forth a little bit, but our point that is going to hit the ground when we rock back and forth is going to be a lot closer into the center of rotation. I'll put skids here and here underneath the base plate, obviously, so when it rocks forwards, the point that touches the ground is going to be quite close to the front, and also it's not actually going to have a lot of weight put on it because a lot of the weight is hanging this side of the wheel rather than directly over top of the skid, which is what we were doing in the old versions of the Melties, was the weapons were sitting over top of a skid, so when the skid touched the ground, it had the friction of all of the weight of the weapon system behind it. So in this case, that weight is more evenly distributed over the wheels, and so hopefully this thing will melty a little bit better. But yes, these I am very happy with. Now that I've got them working the way I wanted them to work. Obviously, messing up the tolerance in my design drawing to PCB did not help that at all, but we've got there just with some sandpaper and some files and using a drill as a lathe, but that is a story for another day. Anyway, that is going to be it for this particular video because I now have to wait on actual new CNC bits so that I can cut this plate and the other plates and stuff that I need for 10 mil thick HDPE, because this robot is not going to be fought with 6 mil HDPE plates, because it is just going to die. There is just no way. But yeah, this is the idea. This is the new plan for the new version of the Melty. I think it's going to do well, but as with everything we try with this new Melty, or with this weaponized Melty, we can only put it in the arena and work it out there. So anyway, that's going to be it for this one, and I will see you in the next video.